Welcome to episode 13 of Red Lines, Half Spaces. Oh dear. It's the day after, the night before, Arsenal have lost to Liverpool in the first big clash of the season with through a free kick from Dominic Szoboszlai. 1-0 it ended, and certainly a few questions coming out of the game, but as well as that, there are other issues to discuss, and we're here for it. Joining me, as always, to discuss these is my lovely co-host, Joseph. How you feeling?
Episode 10 was Eze signing. Episode 13, unlucky number 13, we'll call this one, yeah.
I know. Do you know what? I've just caught on to that. Oh, my God.
I'll
Can we
keep bringing
skip?
these, Jeff. I'll keep making sure these episodes and numbers...
Can we skip? Can we skip this now and end the stream now, Dave?
Oh, God, yes. We'll get into it, mate, but it's been a long Sunday afternoon of avoiding all football content. No the day, no post-match analysis, no listening to anyone talk about it. We just had to go step away from it all, have a little think, and we can have a little...
Now is the time. Now is the time that you're going to look into it. Now
yeah, we'll get through it together, and
we will cry together, and we will
do some of our fans along the way, and just make sure everyone's okay, and it's not the end of the world.
Well, let's find out now, shall we? So yeah, ended 1-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. A fabulous free kick from Dominic Szoboszlai. I don't think anyone can argue with it. It was just, you know, some people saying, "Oh, David Raya should have been more moved more over," but I thought it's one of the. You got to hold your hands up, haven't you, and just say that's a fabulous free kick. The distance out, you can't argue with that. But the game itself, Joe, was pretty cagey, wasn't it? It wasn't a feast for attacking football, was it? It was very what we usually expect from a top clash, where it's cagey, very little in it, and Liverpool actually were very defensively solid. What did you make of the game overall?
Yeah, overall, mate, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there. It was basically a game between, I think, the two sides who are going to be going for the title. I think they'll be us and Liverpool will be the main two. It was a game that it was just decided by a moment of magic, wasn't it? It was very close game. Neither team wanted to give too much away, which is understandable given how early in the season it is. Bit cagey. I think both defences first half looked really good. Both teams were set up for just to try and nullify and not give anything away early, which is, from our point of view, going to Anfield, understandable. Liverpool at home, yes, but we're going into that game beating Leeds 5-0. So I understand why both teams did it. Whether I'm happy about it or not, we can discuss in a bit. But yeah, and then second half, again, the game opened up slightly, but still both defences were on top. And essentially the game was dictated by a moment of magic. And in the biggest games, that can happen. And unfortunately, at the moment, it seems we're on the receiving end of that more often than not. We don't seem to have them sort of magic moments in the big games. We might win a game or two, but when they're tight, I find that more often than not we're on the receiving end of a worldie rather than getting one ourselves, and that's something we probably need to look at.
Well, then let's look at the overall stats of the match. 1 goal to Liverpool, XG 0.45 to Liverpool, 0.55 to Arsenal, so not really that much in there. 9 shots for Liverpool, 11 shots for Arsenal, 3 shots on target for Liverpool, 1 shot on target for us, 53% possession, 47% possession. The starting lineup, which was obviously, interesting for us, but we had David Raya in goal, no arguments there. William Saliba and Gabriel started, but unfortunately William Saliba went off with what we now know is a twisted ankle, and he was actually injured in the warm-up. So I have questions about why he was allowed to continue if it was a twisted ankle. Maybe they thought he would work through it, but very rarely does that happen. So Christian Mosquera, who we bought from Valencia in the summer, made his, you call it a Premier League debut because he played pretty much from the 5-minute mark. You had Yuri Timber, Ricardo Calafiori, who I thought had a very good game. And then the midfield is where I think I have some concerns in the terms of the setup, because obviously Martin Odegaard we knew was struggling to make the game. There were rumours he might make it. He didn't. He made it to the bench. But the midfield was Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi, who we thought, but then Mikel Merino was brought into the team, and we'll talk about his inclusion. Up front, we had Gabriel Martinelli, Noni Madueke deputising for the injured Bukayo Saka, and Victor Gyökeres up front. Joe, me personally, I thought this was, when he announced Mikel Merino in for Martin Odegaard and that kind of third midfielder slot. I wasn't particularly happy with that, me personally, because I thought really that should have gone to someone more creative. We have no creativity there, and actually that showed in the game. But what Arteta has since said is that he needed the legs, someone to make the running, the pressing, all of this kind of stuff. Do you think that was the right approach, given that you had Eze on the bench, fully fit? You had Martin Odegaard there, but obviously not fully fit. So was this the right call to start Mikel Merino up front?
For me, with the starting lineup, for me, I think everything was kind of as expected. The only thing I think we discussed in the pre-game show, was possibly Lewis Skelly coming in for Calafiori, who was outstanding, by the way. But again, we'll go into that later on. But yeah, just for me, and this is nothing against Marino. It's not this isn't a Marino hate watch or anything like that. But it just, when I saw the team, and I'm sure sort of most of the fans felt the same, straight away, I was just a bit deflated. Straight away, I felt as though we was kind of saying, okay, we're worried about Liverpool, which fair enough. I can totally understand why you would do that. But this early in the season, Liverpool obviously haven't looked fantastic as yet. They've sort of played Newcastle and Bournemouth, conceded goals in both. Granted, Newcastle and Bournemouth are both good teams, but it shows that Liverpool can be got at. Neither of those teams have got a defence or a defensive setup, if you like, that I think can rival ours. So for me, I just felt that this was an ideal time to go and have a go at Liverpool from kickoff. Not let's go into the game, be a bit cagey, let's work them out first. I think this was the perfect opportunity. Whilst they've not got into form, new players are bedding in, it was just the ideal time to go there and go for them early on. Because I think in the first half, although we didn't create a lot, I think we controlled a lot of the game. And I was quite impressed with how well we was dealing with Anfield. Because we've been there before and we've sort of seen the struggles. But at no point in that first half did I feel any concerns other than when Raya, I think it was, played out a sort of very dangerous pass and Van Dijk closed it down. But other than that, I felt we was really in control of the game. And at half time, it just sort of compounded my sort of initial feelings before the game of, I think we've missed the trick here, because there was no way we was going to be able to do that against a Liverpool in the second half. Liverpool were going to respond in whatever way they would. But it was just really disappointing for me that there wasn't someone more creative in there. I know we've just signed Eze, and I appreciate why you might not want to start him, but like I said, it was just the ideal time for me to really go at Liverpool from kickoff, make a statement, and then if you want to shut up shop, get a goal ahead, get 2 goals ahead, whatever it is, and then after half time, if you want to take Eze off on the hour and bring Marino on and things like that, totally understandable. But yeah, for me, I just felt like as soon as the team were announced, we'd almost conceded sort of 5 yards to Liverpool. And I think that, I mean, if I feel like that, and from what you've said, yeah, and you do as well, I imagine that the Liverpool team probably instantly think that as well, looking at the lineup.
So then let's ask the question that everyone is asking at the moment. Does Arteta set this up too pragmatically? That's the thing that's being levelled at him. That, as you said, this is a game where Liverpool could have been got at. But he set up, typically Arteta is very pragmatic with his approach. He will set up to not lose the game first, which is fair. The big games, his record is absolutely fantastic. In fact, this is the first loss in what, 23?
Yeah.
So you can't argue with that record. But the argument that you just made is that the Liverpool team was there to be got at. and we had the capabilities to do that if we had had a kind of connector in that midfield. Mikel Merino, with all due respect, he's a very good player, but he's not a connector. He's a workhorse, and he's someone who will crash the box, but he's not really going to give you that pass that will get that'll get your player through. And do you feel that this is something that he either will not adapt to or he just can't? What's the feeling with this? Because it's a very atypical Arteta setup in terms of it was very conservative. To me, that midfield was too conservative. He was worried about Liverpool's attack more than our attack, that what we could do to them. And subsequently, as you said, it gave Liverpool the extra 5 yards, didn't it, pretty much when the game started?
Yeah, like we said, you can't knock him because his record in the big games is fantastic, and we've mentioned it when we've done previews of these sort of games, how we used to go into Anfield, go into Man City, and just ship in 5 goals, or even Chelsea before the game even kicked off. You knew we was going to get smashed, and now we're going into these games and we're competitive, and it's such a big change. So I don't even knock his approach, but what I think you can maybe question is maybe his ability to kind of see when a team is there for the taking, or it's kind of reading the room. So, like we said, if you went to Anfield in, let's say you go there in April, and Liverpool are banging form and they're smashing everyone who comes, and they've got a fantastic, on a brilliant run, and we put that side out, I would not have a problem with it, because I think, do you know what, you need to be careful. Let's sort of consolidate in the game, and then we push on. Whereas for me, I know it's sort of, I'm sitting on a computer talking about a game of football, and Mikel Arteta's been involved in the Premier League, so I feel a bit stupid doing it. But I just felt that all of the kind of factors that normally go against us in these big games weren't there this time. I know we had the injuries, which is, again, something else we can touch on, but I just felt like in terms of form, in terms of kind of stage of the season that we're at, I just felt like this was the opportunity for us to really kind of go into the game with that sort of authority and, okay, let's really take the game to Liverpool early.
Mm.
Because I think typically over the last few years, Liverpool have come on strong later in the games against us. I think from memory, we've always started quite well.
Yeah.
Mm. So yeah, obviously we don't know if Odegaard was fully fit, if Saka was fully fit. Would that have changed? I don't know. Um, but with the
What do
current,
you think, Joe? What do you think, Joe? Look, we have very rarely gone to Anfield with a full team, with the full first
Mhm.
team, have we? I don't think we've actually been ever.
I,
So
I can't remember the last time we went. Was it maybe the year we went 2-0 ahead, and then
maybe, but
so I remember
again,
we had Jesus was fit, wasn't he then? And I mean, I'm sure there was someone missing, but that was kind of the last time I remember us going there with sort of a team that
yeah,
maybe resembles our
but
first 11. Like,
that's the thing, isn't it? That I think it would have been different. I think Odegaard would have started if he was fully
mm,
fit. There's no doubt of that because he leads the press.
mm,
He's very good at that. And Bukayo Saka, I don't think actually we lost a step actually with Noni Madueke on the right wing because actually I thought he had a really outstanding game. We'll talk
yeah,
about that in a
he was
minute.
fantastic, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Odegaard is the one because look, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Mourinho. I actually like him as a player, but Odegaard at least provides you that ability to attack and to pass into the channels and pass out to the channels properly and provide a little bit more attacking impetus. Whether or not it would have made a difference because Odegaard also does very well at doing the press and the counter press, all of this kind of stuff. But it just felt a little bit too pragmatic to me that he was sticking, if Norgard was there, I think he may have gone with Norgard even because he didn't want to concede any ground to Liverpool. But let's take generally, I wasn't particularly happy. I get where he's coming from. He doesn't want to lose.
Mm,
But I think we had enough scope with Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice, who I thought actually worked very well,
mm,
that he could have had that one attacking midfielder, that one creative player in there without losing any of the pressing ability, whether it was Eze or whether it was Wanieri, something to just pep the attack up because there was nothing in the attack really apart from the few moments that Martinelli and Madueke got on the ball. But Joe, let's touch upon a few of the players and let's have a talk about some of them because some of them warrant some discussions, good or bad. William Saliba unfortunately went down 5 minutes in with an ankle injury, was replaced by Mosquera. It's a bit of a shame. Again, we're losing players left, right, and centre. I think we've had an injury every game pretty much, haven't we, Joe? And then, but in the past, losing Saliba was it. Your game's over pretty much. This time it isn't because Mosquera comes in and looks absolutely superb. I think he's a really for 15 million. We knew he was going to be good, but he's going to be very good, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, I've got, like you said, mate, when Saliba's been injured previously, I mean, it's just been a nightmare, hasn't it? It's been worst case scenario. Rob Holding's coming on, or
Oh God,
yeah, this is what I mean, and it is
PTSD.
yeah. But Mosquera was seriously impressive, I have to say. I mean, looked a bit kind of excitable, if you like, when he very first came on. A few kind of silly
Misplaced
passes,
runs, yeah.
bits like that, which you kind of expect. It's his first real sort of 90 in the Premier League, isn't it?
In a big game, in the big one of the biggest
Yeah,
games in
I
the
mean,
world.
you're not going to go to a harder ground than that, really, in the Premier League. But he was absolutely fantastic. Really, really impressed with him. Grew into the game. Looks like he's got a really good partnership with Gabriel. Looked like they communicated and worked really well together. Kept Ekatike quiet. Obviously, I know it's not just a Mosquera individual thing. There's a whole defence done that, but brilliant again to keep him so quiet. He started the season really well. So yeah, really impressed, and it just leans into us having a squad capable of challenging for a Premier League title this year. Because in years gone by, if Saliba had gone down, then straight away at kickoff we're thinking if we get out of here with a draw, we've done very well. Whereas I think most people were still thinking, no, do you know, okay, Mosquera can come in, we can still go and win this game. And I think that's a massive move away from where we were 12, 18 months ago.
And that's really good because look, a twisted ankle, I don't think he'll keep Saliba out of the Nottingham Forest game. I doubt, unless it's something serious, which it doesn't look like. He was walking, but he just had a bit of a limp. But if Mosquera had to come in, I'm actually okay with it. I think he's.
Mm. Yeah,
I
I'd
have
have no
no.
qualms with him start even if it gave Saliba another week to recover for is it City the following week.
Yeah, but no. Also, he's got the Champions League in the midweek, so we
Champions
go
League.
off
So
to.
I mean, if you want to give him an extra few days of recovery, I'd have no problem just leaving him out of that game now.
Even if
Mosquera,
he starts Nottingham Forest there, put him in against Spanish opposition because he knows it very well. He played against Bilbao last year. I
yeah,
think it's a great rotation
this is the
option for
beauty of
this
it now,
week.
isn't it, mate? A rotation option for William Saliba. It's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, exactly. So really impressed with him, really like what he did, and I was really happy that he could come on and perform as he did. Um, I'm going to pick out the more positives, and then we're going to talk about the negatives. Eberechi Eze came on, looked, I thought, very good actually, very lively, made things happen, which we expected from him, didn't we? Really, didn't have much time, 20 minutes, but and again, that's something we can question Arteta on. But I thought he did really well. In fact, when he came on, what did you make
Yeah,
of it, Joe?
again, like, just as soon as he come on, Liverpool, I felt looked like they stepped back a couple of yards because they know what he's capable of. So harps back to the main point again, but I just don't. If Eze's in from the start in the number 10 position, straight away I feel like we've got Liverpool going back because as soon as he come on, that's what they did. They're scared to engage him, and when they did, he just chopped it past them. That moment in the corner against Szoboszlai when he just sort of
That was so nice, wasn't it?
brilliant.
Bit of forethinking, isn't it? That he
Yeah,
just
it's
thought
exactly what we need. A bit disappointed that he didn't make more of the sort of ricochet that fell his way when he ran into the box, and
he was
I'm not
bopped
sure if he
over.
got
Yeah,
caught in the middle of his feet a bit, but yeah, a bit disappointed with that. But on the whole, mate, very, very promising when he came on. And I think we've seen nothing that 20-minute spell there to know that he's going to do bits for Arsenal, and he'll be a very good
yeah.
signing.
Give him more time, and he would have opened up, as you said. So, Joe, another player we're going to talk about is Noni Madueke, who I thought actually had a really good game, really effective up against Milos Kerkez, and probably the one who was going to get us something in this game. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I agree, Matt. Like you said, I think he was, in terms of our attacking play, I think he was the one who looked like he was going to make something happen for us. Really, really sort of good to see how well he played. Actually, I think he proved a lot of people wrong yesterday. He was very direct. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to beat his man, drive into the box, make something happen. Just really impressed, mate. And kind of, I think he's left a lot of fans with egg on their face because obviously a lot of noise when he felt, oh, we don't need him, we don't want him, all this sort of stuff. But I don't think we really missed Saka yesterday.
Mm.
Sounds crazy to say because obviously he's our best player by a mile, one of the best wingers in the world. But I think what Madueke, he was brilliant for us. He's absolutely brilliant. Can't sort of praise him enough for his performance. The only thing he was missing was a goal or an assist. But
Yeah, his end product. I mean, that's something that's been levelled at him, isn't it, Joe? That his end product needs a lot of work still. That sometimes, more often than not, he gets to the box, but then nothing happens really. I think that's still warranted at the moment. He got into the box really well, but the end product just wasn't there, was it?
yeah, I mean, he had one chance. That I think Kirke's got back at him really well. Got a corner out of him. He had a shot blocked when he cut inside. And then he had the chance from the corner, which was fairly comfortably saved by Allison. So, like we said, he was the one who was sort of looking to make things happen for us. Done really well. And like I said, the big positive for me was just how direct he is. And I think when you're that direct, eventually things happen for you. So, yeah, again, another real positive for us to see that if Saka is going to be missing, we've now got someone who can come in and maybe not replicate what Saka can do exactly, but we've still got someone who can come in and be a real threat from that side.
Another player who, a lot of people thought may not start the game because obviously it's not a game suited to his skill set, which is obviously to watch Mo Salah. But Ricardo Calafiori, I thought had an excellent game again. I thought he was defensively solid, tracked back, didn't go too mad, and I think that was an instruction to him, but was still very comfortable on the ball, but very tactically astute. I thought it was one of his best games in terms of being an overall defensive package. What did you think, Joe?
Yeah, I agree, mate. He was brilliant. I said in our preview show that I probably would start Lewis Skelly just for a bit more sort of defensive discipline and sort of holding shape a bit more. But I think that was probably one of Calafiori's best games defensively for us. Absolutely brilliant. I don't think Salah had a shot on goal until about the 75th minute.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's an interesting one, Joe, because again, he's now getting a couple of games under his belt. He looks more comfortable out there, and the team looks more comfortable with him there passing it out. I love how he's so technically gifted that he can pass the ball. He can pass the ball and look so smooth doing it. It's a rare skill to have. I think obviously the concerns are obviously if he goes up the field, then who's there back tracking back with him? But I thought yesterday he had a very, very good game against Mo
yeah.
Salah. And um, is he the first choice for you now, Joe, at the moment?
At the moment, I think he is. Yeah, I mean, I know he hasn't had, or sorry, MLS hasn't had sort of many opportunities this season at all. But yeah, I mean, Calafiori, he's looked fantastic, hasn't he? I think he's got that left back spot nailed down at the moment. But
Okay.
MLS's time will come. Do you know what I mean? It's very early in the season. Calafiori's injury record isn't the best. So yeah,
Well,
if he needs to come out of the team soon, just to let him have a little rest, get MLS in for Champions League games, whatever it might be, then yeah, we've again got two very capable left backs.
well, as well, we've got probably three shortly, haven't we? With Piero Nkapie joining shortly. Is there a question that MLS may actually move into midfield and become more of an auxiliary midfielder as well as a left back? Because obviously he's got the skill set for it, hasn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that this year, Yem, to be honest. I think MLS, he done brilliantly at left back last year, but I would love to see him, those kind of driving runs that he makes, I would like to see him doing them a little higher up the pitch. So
Mm.
obviously doing them from left back is brilliant to see, but he can do that in centre midfield as well. And then he's creating chances for us and opening up space for others further up the pitch. So yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see him play a bit further forward and maybe see how he does in that centre midfield role in certain games this year.
Right. So let's talk about players who maybe didn't have their best game. This one I don't like to talk about, but we have to do it. Victor Gyökeres. There are some accusations leveled that he really didn't do much. I don't think this is the kind of game for that Victor Gyökeres was ever going to shine in, because if you look at Ekitike on the other side, it wasn't really a striker's game. There were a few chances as well to put through, and we're going to talk about the other player we have to talk about. But I just think the 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 noise around Victor Gyökeres, there was nothing for him. There was no service, was there? It was
No,
very barren, wasn't it?
similar to Old Trafford, wasn't it? Again, he's up against Van Dijk and Konate, two very physical, very quick, brilliant defenders. I think any centre forward struggles really in that kind of situation. Would we like to see more from him? Of course, we would. But I think you have to temper it with new to the league. Obviously, he's been playing the Portuguese league, which is not going to be anywhere near the standard of the Premier League. Up against much better systems, better defenders, better individual players. So it's going to take time. And I think, unfortunately for him, the Havertz injury has kind of forced him to be playing in these games I don't think he'd be playing in. I
Mm,
don't think he would have started at Old Trafford. I don't think he would have started at Anfield. I think Havertz would have started both of them. And I think you're bringing him on in both of them games and kind of easing him into it.
yeah.
But unfortunately for him, we've been dealt the cards that we've been dealt, and he's having to sort of play 90 minutes in all these games. And yes, at the moment, he's looking a bit lost out there, whilst he's trying to kind of find his way in the league, and we're trying to get used to him. But it will come. We just have to be patient with it, not go into meltdown like we like to do as Arsenal fans, and just trust that it will come. We saw against Leeds what he's capable of. I'm sure against Forest he'll look a lot better again. So it'll take a bit of time, but we'll get there. It's just
Yeah. I
giving
also
time.
I don't think he got any service at all, did he really? I mean, there
No,
was a couple
with
of
like
odd
I
situations.
said, with the midfield that we had,
It was
um,
yeah, it wasn't gonna happen,
he
was it?
wasn't he wasn't going to get a lot of service. And even when Odegaard and Eze come on, I still don't think they really found him much at all. So
Yeah.
yeah, work in
The
progress.
Right, the one player unfortunately we do have to talk about, and again, we all know who it's gonna be, but Gabriel Martinelli. I think we're getting to a point now where Gabriel Martinelli is hindering the team more than he's aiding the team, and look, he does his defensive work very well. Yesterday, there were times where he went down the blind alley so many times. There was a point at which there was a break on. Victor Gyökeres was with him, had got ahead of Konate slightly, and all Gabriel Martinelli had to do was play him through, but his head stayed down, didn't look up, and he went down the blind alley again. And this is a constant theme with Martinelli at the moment, that he goes into the blind alley pretty much all the time. He looks devoid of confidence. He's a fabulous worker in terms of he will get back and do his defensive duties, and he did that yesterday still. But offensively, there was nothing there, was there, Joe?
No, it's so frustrating, yeah, because we've seen what he can do. An informed Martinelli, a confident Martinelli, is such a good player. So dangerous, but at the moment he's got zero confidence. You can tell nothing's coming naturally to him. Everything he's overthinking everything. Just yeah, he's. I do wonder whether or not. I mean, I don't think he would, but does he need to go and have a few games at centre forward just to play somewhere else and just to get away from that left hand side, because he's clearly lacking confidence there. And I've not spoke to sort of anyone who's been to the game, but I don't know whether it's a case of now whether you're starting to feel that fans are kind of getting on his back a little bit in sort of stadiums, and is there sort of that kind of, are there groans when he's sort of running down blind alleys now, and that kind of negativity that comes with it that you sometimes get when players go into these moments. It's it's a shame, Yen, because I think we all love him. We all love Gabby Martinelli. He's so passionate about the Arsenal, and that's what you want from all your players. But like you said, it's getting to a point now where you have to question: is it working? Is it going to work? Are we going to see the Martinelli that we saw a few years ago? Um, Obviously, we've spoken about systems, and if we play a certain way, he'll fit into there. If we play against certain teams, he'll have better games. But at the moment, it seems whatever system we play and whatever team we come up against, it always seems to be the same result, and that is Martinelli not offering enough going forward. Like you said, tracking back and doing the defensive stuff, brilliant. But ultimately, do we want our left winger contributing more defensively than we do going forwards? I'd argue not. So yeah, it's getting to a point now where I think something's got to give.
I think it's already done. I can't see him starting the Nottingham Forest game. I think Eze starts for me
Mm,
against Forest because Eze did more in 20 minutes than than, you know, Martinelli did in that whole game,
mm.
for me personally. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree, mate. It was a really poor performance from him. And the thing is, as well, mate, it's not even what Eze done. It's if you look at what Madueke was doing on the opposite side. He was on the pitch
Mm.
at the same time, same sort of game state. So, because you can argue Eze coming on later, fullback might be tired or something like that. But if you look at it, Madueke on the right, Martin on the left, both on the pitch at the same time, both at the start of the game, both similar circumstances, game state, sort of both up against the same thing. And you just look at the difference in how Madueke would run at his man, would drive into the box with real intent. Yeah, nothing came off for him, but you could see defenders backtracking because they knew Madueke was driving. He was looking to get into the box and make something happen. Whereas
Yeah.
Martinelli at the moment, he doesn't even really run at people properly. He gets people stood up and he'll jockey and he'll kind of feint and do bits and bobs, but at no point do I feel like he's really trying to beat his man and get into the box. If
I
anything,
don't
I
think
feel
he can. I don't think he can he?
I,
I'm as
no shot of confidence, mate. I think he's gets his man stood up, and rather than try and beat him at the moment, I think he just thinks, "Let me get rid of it," and he'll just turn back and pass the ball inside or pass it to Calafiori, who's behind him. I mean, I think he went to the byline once in that first half that I can remember, and it was when he basically ran into Gyökeres. Um, so yeah, like you said, will he start against Forest? I doubt it now after that performance, but I think I think we're getting to a point now where something's got to give, and is that going to be Martinelli for moving on? Is that going to be a change of position? I don't know, but something's got to change because it can't go on as it is.
yeah, I agree. So I mean, there are some serious questions to ask about Gabriel Martinelli. I don't think he will start in the next game. He needs to find that confidence. He needs to find that drive again. Whether he does, I hope he does, but it's interesting. Okay, I think we've dissected Liverpool enough. Let's move on to the rest of the Premier League. Chelsea versus Fulham on Saturday, the 12:30 kickoff. 2-0 Chelsea, but definitely some controversy in this one, wasn't there, Joe? With the first Fulham had a goal ruled out for apparently a stamp, but actually it was a good piece of skill by the player, and then obviously Josh King scored, thought it was his first goal, ruled out, and then the fourth official who made that call was stood down. What do you make? VAR is getting a little bit of a problem, isn't it? Because it's not the technology, it's the people behind the technology, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, all this done, Yem, for me, again, was just emphasise that the people using the technology have never played the game. Because anyone who's played the game knows exactly what he's trying to do. And he's trying to do the sort of Zidane roulette turn,
Yeah,
where you roll the ball over your both feet and spin away and you're off. Anyone who's played football knows what he's trying to do. And I don't think anyone who's played the game would say that's a foul because
yeah.
he's trying to
He's
do
trying a skill. What's it? I don't think he planned to stamp that person in the middle
exactly.
of a roulette spin.
So
It's
for me, yeah, it's totally an utter. It's just incompetence, isn't it? Basically, now it's
yeah.
every almost every week there's a decision where we're all baffled by it, and there is no comeuppance. There's no kind
Well,
of
this
out
time
from
there
it.
was because the fourth official was stood down for the Arsenal game,
But
but it's
is
too
that
little,
enough
too
though?
late. Yeah,
That's, for me, that's it's just a cop out. You're doing something because everyone's saying you should do something. It's not actually addressing anything.
it's not
You're
being
not
proactive.
you're not fixing the problem at all. So yeah, I mean, but we've said before that for whatever reason they're kind of untouchable, and we've kind of got into this weird space where it's almost like PGMOL run the league,
Yeah,
and kind of give them free rein to do what they want. But
yeah,
I imagine this is going to be a common theme through the season, mate. And I imagine nearly every week there'll be a decision for us to discuss.
yeah.
For me personally, I think I would consider again getting rid of it now because it's just affecting games too much, mate. And games are being re-refereed, and that is the thing they said they wouldn't do.
Well, actually, this isn't it. That was an interesting one because the VAR came in, but the ref had already blown. It wasn't a foul. It was the goal was given, but there wasn't any clear and obvious error, was there? It wasn't clear and obvious.
This is what I mean about re-refing the game. And I'm not being funny. Eze's goal for Palace against Chelsea was disallowed. If you look at the free kick yesterday, there was Liverpool. I'm sure there was
There was
Liverpool.
no the gap. I saw the gap opened up, but again,
So it's just again, and that's not me complaining because it would have made no difference to the goal.
no,
But
no,
I
because
think again, it's that consistency thing of one week something's a decision and next week it's not. And this is what fans just are getting
yeah,
tired of is the lack of consistency, and it's enough to just put you off watching football, really. And
and
ultimately, I
being
think
stood down.
that's what's going to happen here. And I think you're going to start losing fans and
Yeah, and
losing
being
people.
stood down for a week really does nothing. He'll be back next week, won't he, on
No, if
reffing
anything, it's probably
again.
thinking, oh, lovely, got weekend off. I'll go home and watch the game and have a lovely Sunday roast. So, no, it's not a problem, is it?
Ridiculous. So moving on, Manchester United, Burnley, 3-2, last minute penalty. Jeez, Man United.
Yeah,
They should have been home and dry, to be fair to them, but Burnley did well to come back. But Ruben Amorim survives. I think this is going to be a struggle for Man United at the moment, isn't it?
yeah.
Cunha
Ruben
looks like
Amorim,
he's got.
like Ten Hag hasn't survived though, has he? Just on a
Oh
little
yes, Ten Hag
side
has gone, has
note.
he?
Um,
3 games
yeah,
in, and he's gone
yeah,
already. Old
hilarious.
slaphead has gone.
Oh, poor bloke.
Faisal's idol has left because.
But
uh,
yeah, United. Do you know again? Yeah, a lot of people talk about mentality, and obviously people love to throw the mentality thing at Arsenal. But I don't know if you saw the clip of I think it was Dallo and Fernandez sort of defending late on in the game,
yeah, and
like really giving it
cheering.
to the crowd. And I just thought you freeze you up against Burnley. I get that there's your emotions in the game. You're
Yeah,
really sort of pumped about winning. But I think that again just shows how far United have fallen. Like that they're
mm.
getting that sort of revved up and that pumped for a result against a team who really are that inferior to them. Yeah, strange, but I think they'll. It looks like United could have some struggles again this season, but probably not to the same sort of depth as they did last year. But Ten Hag is on the ropes, shall we say? So it'll be interesting to see how he does over the next few weeks.
Well, it's Amorim, isn't it? So Amorim, not Ten
Sorry,
Hag.
yeah,
It's hard to see when they're pretty much one and the same in terms of
one's got
terribleness.
hair and one hasn't. That's a difference.
Exactly. Um, Sunderland, Brentford, last minute Sunderland goal. Amazing. Will Sunderland stay up? I still have doubts. I just think they're
Yeah,
making a
like you,
fist
mate.
of it.
I have doubts, but again, like we said, Leeds and Sunderland have sort of Premier League sized clubs. They're not sort
Mm.
of Championship clubs, kind of punching up. So they could do it. And I don't like to brag, but in our predictions, I did predict Sunderland to win that game. So be a few points for me
Yes,
there.
yes. On Friday, we will check those. I know. I've already. When it happened, um, I was like, "Oh my god, he's won, hasn't he?" Because some of my predictions were well off,
I don't think
including
either of
this
us
one,
done well.
including the next one, which is Tottenham nil. Bournemouth won. Bournemouth should have absolutely been far and away from this, shouldn't
Mm,
they? And
yeah.
Dan
Well,
George, who joined
that's,
us, was actually quite. He made the correct prediction, didn't he? Because he
yeah,
predicted a
he
Bournemouth
did.
win.
Yeah, Bournemouth were fantastic. Really good performance. Carried on that sort of form they showed against Liverpool.
Mm.
Really good. Should have won it comfortably in the end. But no, Bournemouth will be a problem for a lot of teams this year. So yeah, that was a really impressive result from him.
What do you make of Semenyo? Should have really gone to a big club, shouldn't he? It's really odd considering how
Yeah,
good
I
he
mean,
is.
given how Martinelli's been performing, I'd be tempted to say fancy a little swap deal, or I know it's pretty unrealistic, but
I don't think that'll
having
happen.
someone that's what you want from your winger, is he? So direct, so powerful, so just drives at defences again. It's what we're crying out for on our left hand side as well. But yeah, I wonder whether January, maybe even you might see him move on.
Mm.
Given how he started the season, I think he could go on to bigger and better things this year, definitely.
Wolves 2, Everton 3. Jack Grealish, the revival of Jack Grealish continues.
Nice to see,
4
isn't it?
assists in 4 games. I think if I would be surprised if Everton do not activate the 40 million clause in his contract unless they can't afford it. That's a very good player that just brings a little bit of sparkle to Everton's, defensive ability, but he links that attack so well because he's so creative, isn't he?
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? It's nice to see as well. Like, it's nice to see sort of because obviously he's been sat on the bench at City for however long, just kind of wasting away. And when he was at Villa, he was phenomenal. He was such a good player, so exciting. Went to City and kind of had that kind of creative license kind of drilled out of him by Pep. So to see him go back to Everton, where I think he'll be re-given that kind of license he had at Villa, I think he could do really well there. And it's quite nice to see him having a good start, and hopefully it continues for him, makes it be a good move for him. Hopefully,
Yeah. And then we had the late game on Saturday, which was Leeds United versus Newcastle. This was a drab affair, wasn't it?
I didn't even see this one, so I
Oh,
can't
I
comment.
did.
I
I
mean,
did. I nearly fell asleep through it. I think obviously Newcastle didn't have any strikers, and it kind of showed. They've obviously addressed that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, this was a pretty dull affair, I thought, and not much to talk about. So we'll move on. Yeah, I like to see how I did that very quickly,
beautiful little segue.
Um, the result of the weekend has to be Brighton and Hove Albion versus Man City, doesn't it, Joe?
Brighton are a weird team, aren't they? They either sort of win these games or get absolutely smashed. There's never like an in between with them. So
Never in between.
because before the game, it was either going to be like Brighton sort of edge it or Man City
Yeah,
beat them 5-0. Like it was
yeah.
going to be one of them two results. Um, but no, Brighton really impressive. I thought the crowds really invested in it. I think that kind of pushed them kind of over the edge in the end. James Milner scoring a goal. He is just Peter
He's
Pan.
evergreen, isn't it? I don't know how he does it. He's what, 40 now?
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. I think he's closing on Ryan Giggs' record, isn't he, of Premier League appearances, I think?
Yeah, Ashley Young still at Everton?
You don't know. No idea.
Oh,
But yeah, really amazing for him, mate. Really good result for them. I thought the second goal was
was
brilliant.
very
It was
the
like
pass,
everything about it. It was just fantastic. The lovely little layoff, the passing, and then the composure just to sit the defender and the
to sit the
goalkeeper down.
goalkeeper down. But
Brilliant.
obviously, and we'll talk about this, City's goalkeeper has not James Trafford has not really covered himself in glory, has he, lately?
No, not at the moment. And unfortunately for him, it looks like they're going to be getting Donnarumma, doesn't it? If all the
Well,
rumours.
Donnarumma, which is a very different kind of signing, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, Another shock result, which I don't think any of us saw. Nottingham Forest nil, West Ham 3. Where did this come from?
This is the surprise result of the weekend for me.
The
I
surprise is a shock.
this is the biggest shock of the weekend. So I would have thought that Forest would win that quite comfortably, given how West Ham started. But yeah, 3-0. That's a big away win for West Ham. So maybe they're not destined for the drop as we thought.
But
But
it's
yeah,
too
really.
inconsistent. It's maybe next week after the international break, we'll see, but it's very inconsistent, isn't it, from
Well,
both
yeah,
clubs?
yeah. There's something's going on at Forest, isn't it? Between sort of
Marinakis and
Matis, Edu, Nuno, whatever it is, there's something not quite right there. And I'm be interested to see how that plays out over the next few weeks. But yeah, really good result for West Ham, and probably be the sort of, and they'll be hoping a kickstart to their season now.
yeah, fair enough. And then obviously Arsenal lost to Liverpool 1-0. Another shock result, considering that they played in midweek. Crystal Palace beating Aston Villa at Villa Park 3-0.
Yeah, Villa. Good mate of mine is a Villa fan, and I think he was saying they haven't scored a goal yet this season.
Is that
So
that I mean, Emery Unai will Unai, won't he? He has this
uh,
kind of
we've
syndrome
seen
after a
before.
couple of seasons, doesn't he?
We've unfortunately we've seen this all too up close and personal. But yeah, really, really good start to season for Palace, considering they've lost Eze. Looks like they've lost Gay as well in the last few minutes going to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But Glasner's doing a fantastic job there.
He's a very good coach. I think
Yeah,
he's
Palace, yeah, nice to see Palace sort of continuing doing well, because I think there probably was concerns that if they lost a few players, they'd kind of really sort of fall down the league. But no, they're doing well, and it's a good start to the season for them, and good, really good result.
Okay. That concludes the look at the Premier League. So let's get into the transfers because boy, it's all going off right now. As we record on Monday, the 1st of September, transfer deadline day. Arsenal wise, the outgoings looks like Fabio Vieira, Lokonga have both gone to Hamburg. Lokonga on a permanent deal, 3 million. Vieira on a loan with an option at 20 million plus, which I have concerns that they will never get paid. So he'll probably be back next year. And then you've got Reece Nelson, which was a bit of a surprise, going to Brentford on a loan with an option. How are the outgoings looking for you, Joe, in terms of from Arsenal?
Uh, it's kind of what we expected, is it? I don't think we ever expected to get sort of big money for any players.
Kivior's still to go. I think Kivior's still to be ratified, isn't it now?
Yeah, I mean, we won't go over sort of what we've discussed in previous podcasts because people get bored of us. But I think we said about um, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, don't we, by all these players who we let go. The world knows we don't want them, and the world knows that they're not
Mm.
involved in our sort of 15, 16, whatever it might be. So we're never going to get good value for these players going forward into the sort of the next few seasons. Hopefully, with the size of the squad we've got now, there might be some sort of bigger opportunities for us to make money on these players. But yeah, I think these players need to go out. Vieira, obviously, it's not worked for him. He'll go. Lokonga, likewise, it's not worked out for him. Do you know what? The Brentford move for Reece Nelson is a really good one.
If he
And
can stay fit, that's the
on,
biggest problem.
I would absolutely love Reece Nelson to stay fit and go there and have a really good season. Because if he stays fit, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a better output than Martinelli come the end of the season. Genuinely, some might be something to look out for. Might be a hot take for you there, but
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, be a good move for him. And like you said, if he can stay fit, might be a club nicely suited for him. Shame about Zinchenko not going.
The
I
wages, I just think, are the problem, aren't
had
they? He's just
rant about
too
this
high.
earlier in our WhatsApp group chat, but for me, you can't come out and whinge about not getting minutes and how it makes you feel about sitting on the bench and how your family are feeling really sad about it. You get an opportunity to move and then you turn that down. Judging by would it have been a loan to Marseille or permanent? I don't
No, it
know.
would have been it would permanent with a year. He's got a year left, hasn't he?
I mean, he might argue that he wouldn't be getting the same wages, but that then just defeats your whole initial argument of how sitting on the bench makes you feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Zinchenko's kind of shot himself in the foot, I think, with Arsenal fans over this one. I think a lot of people would have wanted him gone, and now with Hincapié coming in, he's arguably looking at maybe fourth choice left back, which essentially means you aren't going to get any minutes unless we get a load of injuries and maybe you get a Carabao Cup game. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think Zinchenko's going to get used to sitting on that bench for the last year of his
I
contract.
don't think he'll even be on the bench. I mean, he hasn't made any, has he, lately?
Well, yeah, good point. Yeah, so yeah, he'd just be wasting a year of his life basically, and I just hope his family are okay at dealing with that.
His daughters might be a bit sad if they don't see their dad playing every week.
Honestly, don't. It's pathetic, isn't it? Really.
Um, in terms of incomings for Arsenal, Piero Hincapié, we already know that one should be done, but obviously, as of now, it's 4 o'clock. We're recording. No confirmation as yet. So hopefully that gets done. I mean, I guess it's just part two of the medical, so we'll see. Let's cover the rest of the Premier League. The big one, obviously, that was bound to happen was Alexander Isak to Liverpool. That has been done. 130 million. I think it's been disgusting the way he's actually gone about this, isn't it, Joe? I mean, we'll talk about another player who's kind of gone down this route, but the way he did it was not professional at all, is it? And it kind of
No.
just raised the alarm bells about what kind of
Yeah,
player you.
you kind of you get it when players want to move to bigger clubs, but I think there's a way you go about doing things. I think for it to have played out in public the way it did, the way he refused to train, went off and trained with Sociedad at a time as well, didn't he? Rather than training with Newcastle, as kind of just and has really kind of just put a black mark against his name, I think. He's ultimately got his move, which, do you know what? It's really unfortunate because I think at some point a club is going to have to readdress this kind of player power balance and say, no, we've got your contract. You're staying here, whether you like it or not. Um, but unfortunately, it
The
seems like
problem,
player power is
well,
so strong now.
the problem is that if he had not played, which he said he wasn't going to do, if he down tools complete for the year or even 6 months to the January window, his value would have tanked, wouldn't it?
Mm.
So Newcastle have kind
Yeah,
of said, look, we'll take it now to get players in, and they've obviously have got it with Voltima, and then Visser has come.
mm,
Now again, I'm going to just switch gears a little bit. Visser as well has done this as well, hasn't he? He put out a
mm,
statement, down tools, did all of this kind of stuff. So it's kind of a bit hypocritical. Newcastle are getting rid of a player who's done this and bringing in a player who have done this. It just feels like if it's your club, you don't really care that
mm.
the incoming player has done it. If you're the outgoing club, it means everything, doesn't it? That's
Yeah, I don't like it, mate. I don't. There's a. I mean, it's a position that very few of us will ever understand.
mm,
Having that kind of money thrown at you, obviously, the kind of going from Newcastle are a big club, but going to Liverpool is just another level, isn't it? Like
yeah, of course it is.
trophies and like we'll never kind of understand it, but I'd like to think that you kind of have a bit of a moral compass. And really, before Newcastle, you was you you weren't really doing anything. You was playing for Sociedad, no disrespect to them, but you was nowhere. Newcastle have kind of given you a platform to go to the heights that you've gone to and have got you that move essentially. So I think you need to show a bit of humility and just a bit of class, just to kind of say, look, I appreciate what you've done for me, but I would like to go. Because I don't think Newcastle actually really done anything wrong. I think they was quite happy to negotiate for him as long as their value was met. It's not like
Exactly.
they was standing in the way of the deal or anything like that. So
And
yeah,
they had every right to. They had every right to. 3 years on his deal. Why wouldn't they?
yeah, of course,
Liverpool
this is
should
what I mean.
should be paying
Yeah,
up for.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah, and like I said, we would like to have seen kind of it could play out another way, but ultimately Liverpool won't care. Liverpool have got their man. Isaac won't care. He's got his way. Newcastle have been they've probably not got as much as they wanted, but they've got a good amount for him, I think.
and they spent it
So
as well. They have spent it now already. It's
yeah,
already gone.
ultimately, come the end of the window, I think everyone's happy with kind of the outcome they've got. It might not have been the nicest way to go about it, but ultimately, all three parties come the end of the window, I think, will be fairly happy with what they've got
Mm.
out of kind of muddy situation.
And Liverpool also making another signing in Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace. That one looks like it's completed, 35 million. I think it's a good signing. It reinforces that area where they had a problem in, which is
Mm,
defence. But
yeah.
Liverpool title favourites for you, Joe, given what they've done.
Well, yeah,
Four hundred fifty million.
I'm
450 million. They should be title favourites, shouldn't they?
yeah, well, everyone was saying that Arsenal should be title favourites when we were spending. Everyone kind of loves to bring up how much Arsenal spent and how many players we've bought, and oh,
Yeah.
Arsenal should win the league now. Look how much money they've spent. So I'm assuming now this means that we should all give Liverpool the same scrutiny and say, no, they're the champions. They won the league last year. They've spent over 400 million. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
over 400 million now. It's with
spent over
Isak.
400 million. Of bought their transfers have been phenomenal. Isak, Wirtz, Frimpong, Gahey, all like sensational players. So no, it's scary, mate. That front line now, the firepower they've got. And I think they're favourites for the title. But I saw enough from us at Anfield to know that we're going to be in there. We're not going anywhere. We're going to take them all the way.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. So a few more transfers that are, if we're talking about our rivals, um, Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson. That one looks like it's on again. Before it was off. He'd landed in Munich, and then his medical was off because Liam Delap had got an injury. But now it looks like it's on again. 18 million euros on the loan fee, then a further 62 million euros on the transfer. That's insane for
Chelsea's
a
trying to
loan.
get
I don't
this.
know
I
how
don't
they
know how
do
they
it.
do it. I don't know how they do it, but Chelsea have an ability to get rid of players who they don't want for unbelievable amounts of money. It's
I,
I
I
mean,
can't fathom it.
that sort of money is insane.
I honestly, I just don't know how they've got to that amount. And Bayern Munich, who used to be
I mean,
pretty good with
yeah,
numbers.
yeah, it's crazy, mate. I don't know how they've done it, but I mean, I don't know if there's some dodgy dealings going on with old Todd and whatever else is going on at that club, or whether you just have to say fair play to them because they know how to get the money in.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It is what it is. That lot down the road, Tottenham, Randall Kolo Muani.
Always talking about our
From
rivals, yeah. Didn't realise we was just talking about nothing London clubs, but
Randall Kolo Muani has joined from PSG on a loan, dry loan, no option. It's a decent deal. It's not a bad deal at all, is it?
yeah, it's not a bad deal at all, mate. It's just another option for him. I did. Who else was there? They was linked with someone else, weren't they?
No, they got Xavi Simon, so they bought him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure
They
they
bought
was
him
mentioned
70
someone
million.
else earlier on before we started. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't. But no, I mean, again, they've done some solid business.
Yeah, Xavi
Well,
Simons will be a good player for him, mate.
yeah,
There was
he'll
a
be a
lot
good
of
player.
kind of sort of back and forth between Arsenal and Spurs fans and sort of other fans about who's got the better deal out of Eze and Xavi Simons. But I think it's just that Arsenal have got the best deal for them by getting Eze. We needed a
Hmm.
more experienced Premier League player to come in and help
Yeah,
the
yeah,
players like Wanyeri, Dowman. We've got our future sorted. We're kind of building for now. Whereas
yeah.
Tottenham, I think they've got the better deal for them. I think Xavi Simons is a better fit for them than Eze was. He's younger, can build into their system better, and they are kind of building a team for the future at the moment.
Exactly.
So I
No,
think
it's
both clubs have got the best deal for them, and yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
yeah, agreed. Man United are signing a guy from Antwerp, Sene Laymans, 18 million.
No idea. I mean, can he be
Again,
any
trying
worse
to.
than Nana or Bayern Deer? Or
There's
they've
not
not
fi-
well,
there's not a bottom line you can go much for higher with. Um, Man City signing Gigi Donnarumma. This one's an interesting one because he's been dumped from PSG for not being a ball playing keeper, and he's going to another coach who wants a ball playing keeper, typically, doesn't he?
yeah.
It's
I mean,
very
this
odd.
is if you're James Trafford, you're kind of worrying a bit now. I think because
He had a lot of I mean, James Trafford has not settled in very well, has he?
no, he's not
Unfortunately,
started the season well. But I think you've got to give them time. You've got to let these players kind of make, especially goalkeepers. You've got to give them a chance. Like if they make a mistake, they'll know they've made a mistake. But you need to keep them in the team and give them confidence. Say, no, we trust you. We believe in you. You're going to be our goalkeeper going forward. Whereas now you've played 3 games, you've not had the greatest of start, and you're now seeing a world class keeper coming in. If you're
30 million, 30 million though
if
for
you're James
Trafford.
Trafford, you're now thinking, I'm a £30 million sub. Am I going to get ahead of Donnarumma? Really? Probably not.
No, no
Um,
way. Not the
so
way he played. Not the way he performed. Really, is it?
no, if I was James Trafford, I'd be a bit concerned about that.
So as we record this at 4 o'clock, there's 3 hours to go. Hincapié is still not announced, but there's every confidence that it will get done unless something happens. It's been a crazy transfer window, actually, Joe, hasn't it? It's one of the most active I've seen in terms of big signings and big transfers. So, I mean, I guess clubs are starting to get into that mode of we need it for the Champions League. We need deep squads, and we're not
Mm.
outside of that. We've bought, very well. So let's see how we end up. We're going to end it there, though. I think we're going to have a little bit more of a cry about Liverpool, maybe. But it is the
Yeah,
international week. It's international week now, so we've got 2 weeks to stew on this, which I
yeah,
hate.
that's the
But
worst part. Isn't it? You've now got to sort of the last result was that one. Now you've got to go and tolerate England's dross football for a couple of weeks before you can put it right. But
and with all our play, and also stress about all our players as well if they get injured,
I
making
mean,
sure
the
they
only
come
good
back
thing is
fit.
Saka won't be playing. Odegaard shouldn't be playing.
No, Odegaard's been called up.
Lieber hasn't been called up. I
No,
think he's been
absolutely
left
not.
out. So yeah, I mean, let's just hope everyone comes back injured. But
Injured, comes back injured.
sorry, it's been a long weekend. Hopefully, everyone comes back fit. No one gets injured. And yeah, I hope I hope listeners. I hope this has helped resolve a kind of painful weekend, and it's just put a
Yeah,
bit more of a realistic spin on thing rather than having to tolerate Sky Sports trying to convince us that the world's ending and other journalists piling in on the Arsenal as everyone likes to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is that kind of feeling at the moment. But we'll end it there. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Thank you again to Joe, as always, for being being the voice of reason in these dark and troubling times. But again, if you do like our content, please do subscribe. Please keep listening. Please, just make sure that you sign up for whatever platform you're on. We're going to try and keep this content fresh. We're hoping to do something during the international break to relieve the boredom that you will feel during these dark times of the international week. But for now, thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next one of Red Lines and Half Spaces. Bye for now.